All right, so we're going to talk about Obamacare.
So there's this brilliant creep named Jonathan Gruber.
An MIT health economist.
And he wrote parts of Obamacare. And there's a 52-second clip making the rounds where he talks about how they crafted the Obamacare bill in a special way because they did not want the Congressional Budget Office to declare it a tax. So they had to word it in a very convoluted way to fool the boneheads at this office. So it wouldn't be a tax. And then they had to craft it in a clever way so that the public wouldn't be aware that the basic premise of the plan is you force healthy people to buy insurance, and then you give the money to the sick people. They knew there'd be a lot.
Healthy people to buy insurance, and you give the money to the sick people.
Yeah, and then he talks about how he wishes, how he knows that the administration fooled the public, but they just had to do it because the American public is so stupid. Now, you'll hear these phrases. We got a 52-second clip. This is really important, not just for this issue, but for everything. Because when they craft laws, when they craft propositions, such as the high-speed rail, they craft these things in a way to fool you. We had several of those propositions on the ballot just last week. And there's some simplistic headline that they sell you, but the real dirty stuff, the entrails, are buried deep inside. And those are the poison pills. Those are the grenades that go off and cause damage. But they know in their mind, you're too stupid to read or understand this stuff. So we're going to give you some happy, smiley headline, but the real ugly stuff is buried within. So listen to this, Jonathan Gruber, and this is like the sharpest truth you're going to hear. Roll.
This bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent. But I'd rather have this law than not. So it's kind of like his reporter story. There's things I wish I could change, but I'd rather have this law than not.
Yeah, he said he didn't want the American people to be saddled with a law that they understand, and then they would rally against it. Just give them something they don't understand.
Exactly. Because he's right. If he got this Congressional Budget Office to say, hey, there's a load of taxes in here, it's not going to pass. Everybody's going to scream, no, they're not paying more taxes for universal health care insurance. And then if you just stated it bluntly, like, hey, you healthy 25-year-olds, F you. Give us your money. We're going to force you to buy insurance that you don't need. We're going to give it to the fat 60-year-old over there who smoked and drank all his life. He gets the money that you earn, even though you need no health insurance and he needs a ton of it.
What did Pelosi once say? Well, yeah, we haven't all read the law. Let's just pass it, implement it, and see what it has. Yeah. They
were in love. Well, again, it's they believe that people who have money ought to give it up. They think it is immoral for people to have and keep the money they earn. You have to give it to somebody else, even if the somebody else are irresponsible, fat guys who smoke and drink too much.
Yeah, I was going to say they only might have an argument when it comes to health care because it's hard to believe that for lack of money we'd let people die. You're referring, though, to the group of irresponsible people that doesn't take care of their own health and suffers the consequences and also didn't save for the consequences.
Except sometimes I question the people who, quote, don't have money. Again, how many bad decisions did you make so you don't have money and you have maybe too many kids and then you got your hand out and you want me to help fix things? A lot of people's problems are of their own making. There's tragic things, unlucky things that happen to people and you want to help them. The people who make bad decisions from morning to night for years and decades on end, I don't have any sympathy for them. So make the right decisions. It's not that hard. Don't smoke and drink and pack on 100 pounds and end up with diabetes. Don't do that. And if you do that, what are you coming to me for? Why do I have to pay for it? Don't have 4 kids before you're 23 and then complaining about your burger flipping job. Don't do that.
And you got a budget for health insurance.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that was the problem. Nobody in their 20s and 30s wants to do that because it seems like a waste. They're not going to get sick.
Well, look, life is about making decisions. You either make the right ones or the wrong ones. And everybody makes some wrong ones. But you stack up wrong ones over and over and over again, and then you got the nerve to come to me? Or then you have like a political party acting as your agent, trying to browbeat me and embarrass me into doing it. It's like, well, don't you care about sick people? Yeah, I care about sick people. Wait a second. Let's put all the sick people into categories here, all right? Somebody who's 38 and suddenly gets a brain tumor and they're going to die and their wife and kids are going to be left destitute. Yeah, you want to help out that guy. But not so much some of the other categories I mentioned. But the thing is, it's like this is the way politics is conducted. And you have to remember that both sides do this. It's in their nature. They want to confuse, write convoluted, impossible to understand bills. They'll give you some happy, smiley story to sell it. The story is bullcrap. What Gruber said is right. The stupidity of the American voter. We can't tell them what we're doing, and they're too stupid to figure it out on their own. So you lie to them, you confuse them, and then we get our way. And it's about trying to embarrass you. Well, you don't care about blank? Oh, are you really going to say it out loud? Yeah, I don't care about blank. How about that? I think you're trying to fool me and deceive me and lie to me. In fact, I know it, and Gruber proved it. And that's how this massive Obamacare bill was shoved through.
Apparently, he made this statement during a panel at the annual Health Economist Conference last year. But later on, the University of Pennsylvania removed the clip. Because somebody saw it and said, we don't want that up there.
Once somebody saw it, it leaked out into the news media. Then they pulled it off. Shows you what bastards they are. It's like, well, we can't publicize that he's admitting the Obama administration intentionally deceived everyone and the administration thinks we're all stupid. It's truth. Nobody wants to hear truth. All
right, more coming up on Obamacare, including this report, and it doesn't surprise us that many Latinos are not going for Obamacare because they're afraid family members, relatives will be deported, and we'll explain briefly why there's another trip to the U.S. Supreme Court for Obamacare.